Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Moonriver. As always, I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure to do your own research before investing money into crypto. Before we jump into the Moonriver chart, I want to take a look at the crypto total market cap excluding top 10. So this is others.d. So this is the dominance of the cryptos or altcoins that are outside of the top 10. So their market dominance has been falling ever since January 2022, and we had a bounce in 2024. If you take a look at this Fibonacci retracement, I know it's a lot of drawings, but if you bear with me, you'll understand what this is. So we set up a Fibonacci from the bottom here in June 2023, which was our bear market bottom, and we took the top from the January 2022, which was our cycle top for this particular chart. And what ended up happening is we just rejected the 0.5 Fibonacci. So we ran into it twice, we printed a double top pattern, and then we broke down and we lost this low. So we're coming back down to these lows from August 2019 and January 2021. And if history is right, this is going to be a really good opportunity to dollar cost average. Ignore these drawings. I think this was meant for the monthly chart. Let me just go to the RSI real quick. Yep, so this is the RSI chart, and I was spotting some sort of a falling wedge pattern here with a potential breakout into 2026. So I'm looking at the macro here, and with the interest rates going lower, with money printing going back into full throttle mode, I do think we are going to have a continuation of this run. We did not have a euphoric blow off top, so I'm with the camp that says the market still hasn't fully concluded. Of course, if you think otherwise, you shouldn't be investing at this point, right? You want to be waiting for the bottom prices of the bear market. In any case, you don't want to invest money that you can't afford to lose. So hopefully you didn't do that, and I've been talking about that for the past 5 years now that we've been making these videos. And then here on the weekly, you can see every single time we went towards this white trend line, we had a move to the upside. This happened back in November 2017, in August, September 2019, then again in December 2020, and right now in December 2025, we're at that level. We're kind of losing it here, right? Depends on how you want to adjust this trend line, but we're still around that same area, and there is a really good chance we're going to see a move to the upside from here. Okay, the RSI is extremely low on the weekly and on the monthly. We're looking at a prosperous first quarter of 2026, hopefully. And if, let's say, you have some coins that are left that haven't, reached your targets, you might want to secure them and, get out at whatever price is available early next year when we have the next up and coming pump. So that's just a general context for you so you understand what we're dealing with here. So all of the altcoins below the top 10 are suffering pretty much the exact same fate, except a few coins. Now let's switch to Moonriver. Okay, actually before we switch to the chart, let's take a look at the market cap here. Sitting at a $30 million market cap. The volume is sitting at $3.72 million, and this is understandable because of the bearish sentiment around the projects and crypto in general. I do want to take a look at why it says infinite for the max supply. I don't know if anything changed in the past month or so for Moonriver, but let's take a look at Moonriver. This is cryptorank.io, and I want to take a look at Moonriver and see if they've changed anything about the supply. They haven't. The tokenomics haven't changed, so I don't know what CoinMarketCap is doing, but it's not supposed to be max supply infinite. Okay, so we have the max supply here, sitting at 10.8 million, with 12.2 being the total supply, and 95.5 of the max supply are out in circulation. That is percent, 95.5%. Okay, so this just tells us that there will not be a lot of token dilution. Okay, they are staking rewards, but they're not as huge. They're not as huge. So now we can jump over into the chart for Moonriver. This is the weekly, and we have two ongoing patterns. So the first one is the bigger one, and this is a falling wedge pattern. So we have a clear sign of resistance above us and a clear sign of support below us. So what we want to do in this case is bounce off of the support and continue to the upside. Whether we break out on this third try, okay, or we bounce off the resistance and come back down again is yet to be seen, okay? However, if we want to maintain this pattern in general, we do have to bounce off that support, because if we continue dropping and we lose this support trend line of the falling wedge, then the pattern is invalidated. That's something to keep in mind. And also, let's zoom in on this symmetrical triangle that we were looking at a few months ago. We broke down from it, right? I told you this is a 50-50 pattern. There's no bias with this pattern. So we ended up breaking down, and if you open up a Fibonacci and you drop it from the top in May 2025 to the bottom in March 2025, we have our 1.618 down here at $2.78. So it is landing absolutely where it's supposed to be landing if this is indeed going to play out according to the fib. So our technical target is the 1.618, and you know, if we have a nice bounce from there, great. If not, your capitulation target here at $2.13 could be another area to look into. If we zoom out, we're essentially printing bear market low prices for Moonriver. We've never been this low. We've been sitting at around $4 in October 2023, but then after that we had a massive spike towards $43, and then a massive crash for a prolonged period of time. Well, not a crash essentially, but a this plunge to the downside. And what we're hoping for is a break out of this bullish pattern, potentially bullish reversal pattern, because this falling wedge could prompt us to start a trend reversal. If we take a look at the weekly RSI, we're almost in the oversold, as low as we've ever been. So if you're looking to get into Moonriver, now your risk to reward ratio is pretty good. I would say even if we are going into a bear market, you still can make some money with a quick trade once the markets start rallying up. And this is the thing, whenever we have a massive crash, even if it's within the realms of a bear market, you can still invest a little bit of money, a small, percentage of your portfolio, maybe 5, 3, 2%, and then let that ride out until the relief rally, which usually takes less than a month. So once that happens, you can secure some profits. The stochastic RSI is in the oversold. The last time we were down this low was all the way back here in March 2025. Since that, we haven't seen much action. It was, we had this around 2x move to the upside. We went into that triangular pattern, that symmetrical triangle, and then we dropped from there. So if you were buying down here, you still were able to make 100% of your money. So if history is going to repeat, and the lower you go, obviously the easier it is to go to the upside, the less money it takes to pump you. You could secure some nice profits here with Moonriver. Of course, don't go all in. Don't invest like a crazy person. Not financial advice. Let me know what are your thoughts on Moonriver. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.